Hi, I'm Dan Breeker at the University of Texas, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the tabs on the paleosol template for the CO2PIP project. The paleosol template is called paleosol author year. You are going to change author and year to the publication that you're working on before you submit this, and I'm going to show you how to get started here. There are 4 tabs at the bottom of this workbook. The first one says start here when entering data. That's where you want to start. And there's some questions that you can answer here. So I'm going to, for instance, type in my name here, Dan, and my email address. And I can show you on the next tab how this works. Okay. And then you'll fill in this other information as well. This is just going to pre-populate cells on the next tab and just save you time. And then in the next step down here, there are some more questions. These questions are relevant to the particular publication that you're entering data for. So I'm just going to say no here. This is a pull down menu. So I'm going to say no here. And what this will do is it will gray out cells that are not relevant for the particular data set that you're interested in here. So that will also just save you time. A lot of what we've done here to set up this spreadsheet is just to try to make things as unambiguous and as easy as possible. And then in step 3, that's the following tabs. We're going to move on to that in a second. And the last thing you do before you submit these spreadsheets is that you'll just come back to this initial tab and you'll enter in here the total number of rows that you used. I'm going to click on the paleosol data tab and just go through this pretty quickly, and then I'm going to make another video for more detailed information about this tab. There are a lot of columns here. So you'll see that in green are the columns that will auto-populate based on information that you've provided on the first tab. So you'll see that my name has shown up here in column K, and my email address has shown up here in column L. And if I had filled in all of the cells on the start here when entering data tab, the other cells and columns here would be filled in as well. The other thing I want to point out on this tab is these cells that are in blue. These columns contain formulas that will auto-calculate based on your entries in the other parts of this tab. So you do not need to enter any values here. These will automatically show up based on what you enter in columns that are to the right. And then the other thing I want to show you here is just that we have a number of different, we've just divided the information up into different columns. They're gray columns are contextual information about the data set. The blue columns are measured values that are used to calculate atmospheric CO2. And then if we keep scrolling over, I just wanted to show you this. All of these words are grayed out here because I have told the spreadsheet on the initial tab that bulk geochemistry is not part of this data set. So this helps me. I know that I don't have to fill anything out, any of these columns, because they're grayed out, not for this particular publication that I'm entering data for anyway. Let me scroll over to the yellow. The yellow are derived values. So those are calculated from the measured values, and then these values are then used to calculate atmospheric CO2. So nothing here is directly measured, but derived from other measurements. And then if I keep scrolling over, get to some other measurements observations. So these aren't used to directly calculate atmospheric CO2, but they are related data that may be important in the future and may be important for evaluating the quality of certain measurements, so on and so forth. So, some of these, in fact, I guess one thing to mention here is that a lot of these columns throughout the whole sheet here may end up being NA. And so we've also just pre-populated all the cells with NA for not applicable. And you can, if for instance, you didn't do any SEM analyses, or I guess in that case, that would be a no. But there are going to be many places here where these are going to be not applicable. And the reason that there are so many columns is because there are so many different ways that people go about determining atmospheric CO2 from paleosols. We want this to be comprehensive, but not all of the columns are going to apply to every individual study. And if I keep scrolling over, these are other grayed out columns that are only relevant for bulk geochemistry. And the last set of columns here is the CO2 estimates. And then finally, there's a notes column. The notes column is a good place to just put any information that doesn't really fit into any of the columns, but may help a user who's looking at this spreadsheet understand how the atmospheric CO2 concentrations are reconstructed. Okay, and then I'm going to keep moving over to the next tab, which is the age data tab. There are a number of also different colored columns on this sheet. There's the age depth data. Again, I'll come back to this and give some kind of more detailed information. And then there's different kinds of age information, right? The ages in your particular study that you're interested in here, they might be constrained by magnetostratigraphy or biostratigraphy, right? These are all different kinds of stratigraphic ages. Chemostratigraphy, they may be radiometric ages for dating of ashes that are in the section, or there might be detrital zircons here and here. And so we tried to incorporate all the at least common types of ways that these materials are dated. And then again, at the end, we have a column for notes where you can just describe anything that doesn't fit really into any of the other columns. And that's really all of the tabs that you need to worry about. The final tab is a vocabs tab. It's locked. I can click on it so you can see what it looks like. But this is just the way that all the pull down menus are built. And so we have a number of pull down menus. The idea for the pull down menus is just to keep responses as similar and coordinated as possible. So where we thought it was appropriate, we put in these pull down menus, and this is how that's built. So you won't need to do anything with the vocabs tab, but if you actually, let's go over to here, right? You might have, in this case, if you did some radiometric dating, there's a pull down and there's common minerals that are dated radiometrically. So you have a choice here. Anytime there's a pull down menu, there's also an option for other, right? So I could enter other here. And if I enter other, then there's a column just to the right where you can type in whatever other it refers to. That's it for this video. Please, if you have any further questions about either the paleosol data tab or the age data tab, look at the videos that are more specific to those tabs, and always don't hesitate to reach out if there's any other questions that aren't answered by these videos. Thank you.